Welcome to the Brofessional Development Podcast. Listen to the guys discuss business and personal development, covering all your favorite highlights. Enjoy the laughs as the guys try and keep it easy going, yet provide the substance you crave. And now, the Brofessional Development Podcast.
What's up? This is Dan, one of the hosts of the Brofessional Development Podcast. Thanks for joining us again. We took a week off last week, so we're glad to get back after it. We are missing Matt today, but we have Bobby, Brad, and Colin. Okay, yeah, go ahead. What's up? What up?
So what up?
Okay, what up?
What up?
What up?
How's it going, Dan?
All right. Sorry, I was going to, I'm not the intro guy typically. Typically, it's Matt. We're missing Matt today, so I try my best. Before we get started, though, it looks like we're getting quite a few downloads, quite a few listeners, and I just want to do some housekeeping stuff. If you guys are liking the content, if you appreciate what we're putting out, share some feedback. Either rate us, whether it's good or bad. Hopefully it's good if you're still listening.
5 stars.
Yeah, 5 stars. Smash that subscribe button. And, just so we know that people out there are continuing to take in the content that we put out, because we enjoy it. We're friends. We like getting together, but we also like to try to make an impact in other people's lives. So with that being said, what do we got today, Brad?
This week we're talking about luck and basically, is luck created, or is there a true thing is just luck? So I guess maybe luck versus hard work maybe will be the conversation for today. Yeah,
and we'll dive into our influencers and stuff like that, but it looks like today, what is luck to you? What makes success different than luck? Does hard work and time equal luck? Where does luck come from? And also the mindset where people look at somebody who's been successful, or they think they're successful, they have nice things, and they say, oh, that guy got lucky, or that girl got lucky. You know what I mean? And just a couple of other things around luck. But before we get started there, what's up this week, guys? Any professional development intake that you want to talk about?
I got one thing that you'll like. So I'm sure you know about it already. Gary Vee's starting his own podcast only on sports cards.
Nice.
What? I didn't know that. That's
really
awesome.
So
see, everybody's been hating on me on the sports cards, but nobody realizes. Well, actually, Matt hated on me since he's not here.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I hated on it just because I did do sports cards when it was worthless, and then I'm like, I thought it was like an inflated bubble that's eventually just going to pop, but I think now there's just too much built up around it that it is something.
It's so hard to even get sports cards. Like if you go to Target or Walmart, they're completely sold out. You can ask Brad. Yeah. And funny story this week. So Brad's wife was at Target, and
just being a basic white girl.
Yeah, and so I guess she checks every week, which I appreciate.
Whenever she goes to Target, I always have her take pictures of what's in the card section.
And it never has anything.
Never.
Except this week. Kidding. So he texts me a picture at 9:40ish p.m. and they close, or was it 9:40?
It was 8:40.
Oh, okay.
You thought they closed at 9,
they closed at 10.
So he was busted ass up there to go buy some.
So my wife was kind of down, so, and I chose to go get some cards. I was like, I got to go. These shelves are never full. So I drove up there, and I did get some football cards, and I got some baseball cards, and I did get a Burrow and a Tua rated rookie.
I tried to leave him good
kidding.
stuff.
So those are the ones you want.
Did you buy some too?
I had her get me one just because Dan's like, oh, yeah.
But you got a $10 card out of it?
Yeah, I got pretty much my money back.
Just hold on to it.
What'd you do, put it on eBay?
No, I haven't done anything with it yet. It's just sitting there.
Yeah, I would just hold on to it. It'll be worth $20 in about a week. That's how fast these cards are going up. It's crazy. So anyways, not to get down the card path, but I've been investing in sports cards since COVID. I wanted to pick something up when things slowed down a little bit, and it's been good to me, so I can't complain. And Gary Vee's a big driver of this.
At home.
I got multiple shelves. So.
And the one thing I will say about sports cards is it makes me wonder if Gary Vee inflates the market.
Oh, I think so.
Favor.
Yeah, I was 100%.
I think he buys up stuff and then vintage football cards, they're hot, and then he already bought the bulk of them and leaves enough.
That's the power of influence.
Yeah, he's using his platform. That's awesome.
Hey,
it works for him to do that.
Yeah,
but I mean, for him, that's also pennies. In all reality,
he has millions of dollars in sports cards.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that is cool. I did think I thought I saw that. So, anyways, what do you got, Bobby?
So for me, first of all, it's been a couple weeks since I've seen you guys, so I'm pumped to be back on the pod. I've been reading a ton still. So that's something that has just stuck. Every morning, wake up, read my 10 pages. And as far as like on the influencer side of things, I know it's not, well, there are some guys who are on there that, on Instagram and things like that, but Mark Manson just finished The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, which is awesome. That book is amazing.
Yeah, I have it, and I tried to dive into it.
That's been one I'm actually just trying to completely avoid.
What's
Really?
that?
It just doesn't seem to do anything for me.
Yeah.
Like I've said that from the beginning.
You know what? Honestly, I don't even remember
So-
why I didn't keep reading into it. It was either laziness or I was disinterested.
Well, I'm not sure. So I'm not sure why you say that, Brad, but it's really good.
Well, it's just like from the very get-go, I think before we even actually started doing the podcast, we just had the book club, and I think we talked about doing that book, and I'm like, I'm just completely not interested in it.
Is it because
have
there's
you-
a bad word in the title?
Have you
No,
heard,
just-
have you heard him talk before, or do you know?
No, I heard a little bit about it. It just didn't seem like... I feel like it's just like a cliche book to read type thing.
Kind of like the
Does
way
it
the wolf.
have...
Yeah.
And sorry, we're crossing lines, but does it talk about like not giving a fuck about what other people think, or is it more like
So it's
don't
more,
let outside things that you can't control?
there is pieces of that, and pretty much it's like refocusing your fucks on the things that you should actually
Right,
give a
like
fuck
where
about.
do you give a fuck?
And
So
it's not like that's not like the only thing of the entire book, but there is, a lot in there that have some really good takeaways on that. Same thing with all the books that I've read. There's been parts of the books that I've loved. There's been parts of the books that I'm like, all right, cool. What's the next chapter about?
Yeah.
But that book's awesome. And then the next one that I'm reading, and I think it was you, Colin, that mentioned it, or maybe it was Brad, or maybe it was Dan, or maybe it was Matt.
This
one
one's
of
for
you guys.
sure Colin.
Limitless by Jim Quick.
No, that was Dan.
Was that you,
That's
Dan?
right, yeah.
So I started reading that one, and I already know that I'm going to love it. Just trying to figure out how to, because I've worked so hard on my physical appearance and getting through 75 hard and stuff like that. However, one of the things that I want to just keep working on is my brain and figure out how to unlock the next level. I was even talking with Matt Cresco just a few days ago about how, man, I want to do something bigger than just Aflac. You know, I don't think I didn't grow up thinking that I want to be an insurance salesman when I grow up. I want to do something bigger that's more impactful, whether that's we talked about me possibly doing sales training and utilizing ClickFunnels to try and reach a larger audience, and I don't even know if that's what it's going to be, but brainstorm, try and figure out, hey, what can I do that's bigger and better than what I'm doing right now? And I can definitely do that with Limitless and just being working with you guys on a weekly basis.
Yeah, so, and that is cool. And with Jim Quick, so I was reading his book, still reading his book, actually. It takes, I'm not smart enough.
That same one?
So I'm just not smart enough to like take in, to read a chapter and then be able to execute. I have to like read it, dissect the parts that jumped out to me, then execute on it.
I do like
and
how
he
they have those
speaks
quick,
very, he uses some big ass words.
I have to use the Google machine for a lot of it.
Yeah.
But I do like how at the end of a lot of those little blurbs, they have like quick brain, like, I don't know, I can't remember what he calls them, but one of them was like, take a second to work on your memory, and it was like, pull up someone who's really close to you, not a family member, but like a good friend or something like that, and remember their phone number. And I did that because I was like, well, my best buddy Brian out in Oregon, so I was like trying to remember, like, all right, well, what's his? And so I was able to do that, and like this morning I was sitting there and I was like, I wonder if I can remember it, and I just rattled it off, and then I pulled it up and I was like, yep, that's it, cool, I got it.
Yeah, oh, that's cool. So let us know on that book too.
Yeah,
what you got,
good.
Colin? Anything?
I've been listening to a guy named David Nurse. So he's a performance coach for the Brooklyn Nets.
I think he was just on Ed Milet.
He was. And so my brother sent me his podcast. His podcast is the 1% podcast. And just today I was like, man, I need something to talk about on the podcast. So I went to Ed Milet.
Are you, okay, let's be real. Do you always listen to one like the day of the podcast?
I try to.
Podcast?
I try to.
Stay fresh.
Sure. So
I've been listening to David Nurse just this morning. It's the first time. But,
I always put one. I always put one on, and I try to listen to something different or somebody who's not as mainstream when I walk in the morning. And my brother sent me this one like Sunday. I think it was Sunday. Yeah, Saturday or Sunday. He had a party for my nephew, and we were all over there and we were talking about it. So, but he's got a good like quote and philosophy, which is really good. So he says, when you're helpless, be helpful. So like, try to, like when you're feeling down, try to do something good and put some positive energy out into the world, and that stuff will come right back tenfold. And then he also says, like when you're going through those down times, which I wanted to talk to you guys about today.
Cool.
Especially while you guys are going through the 75 hard. When you're going through a downtime,
are you?
Try to create your own highlight reel, like moments where you've been at your best, like maybe a big presentation, or maybe it's when you were a kid playing a sport or whatever. But try to put like 10 highlights together to think about while you when you're down. So,
I love it.
Yeah.
Back
cool.
to your point too about like listening to podcasts the day of and stuff. It's hard to just like make.
I mean,
sure
I've done it. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, I have.
I'm
too.
sure
Doing it
everybody
right out
does.
here when I
my
showed
gosh.
up. Yeah.
But for me, what I've been doing is trying to just like with 75 hard and that habit building. That's where reading every single morning has been such a huge thing for me. Is like that's where I digest all my content. Usually now, whenever I go on my workouts, I'm always listening to music. Usually, that's what pumps me up.
That's
I
what I
found
listen
myself
to.
not being able to concentrate if I was listening to podcasts, and I had a better workout if I was just listening to something that pumped me up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
That's
been off the
interesting.
podcast train completely.
It's hard, and I go, and so I actually have nothing again today, and I think if you listen to the last like 3 podcasts, I don't, because I go through phases where like, okay, I'm executing, things are going well, and then when I hit a little bump, then it's kind of like, okay, maybe I need to take some content, what's going to inspire me to get back on the train that I was on or whatever, right? And then that's when I take the information that I execute on it. I think that a lot of people, and I know we've said this before, can just take in content all day, but what are they really doing about it?
Yeah.
So
If you're not
I just
applying
try
it,
to
it doesn't matter.
practice what other people preach, and
It's
take
the
in.
equivalent of those people that just go to conferences just to say they went to these conferences to get smarter, and then they don't apply shit to their lives.
Yeah.
It's a free
They
trip.
just say
They
they
ride
went.
it off and they go get drunk. And
Pretty much. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, cool. So I guess we'll dive in. You guys good with that?
Let's dive.
I'm trying to move this thing along.
You're doing a
like
great
Matt,
job, Dan.
You know, I
You
mean,
really are.
you can't. Matt's.
You took
Matt's
your
just
medicine.
so
Did you
like
take your
over-
medicine today?
I don't. Take
Is that his
medicine. What the
greens or
fuck?
Adderall?
Every
Or
week,
both?
actually.
Your Opti Greens.
Actually, you know what? I meant to mention this, and what's funny, I'm not wearing socks today.
What are the odds?
Do you usually wear socks or not wear socks?
So, well, a couple weeks ago on the pod, I think you were out. Colin was like, "Yeah, we were talking about the sock business." That he came up with some crazy ass idea, and he's like, "Do you wear socks?" I'm like, "What the fuck? Yeah, I wear socks. Like, who doesn't
First
wear
of all,
socks?"
did I really say it like that?
Pretty much.
Yeah, there you go.
Wear socks.
And like,
He looked at
creepishly
me,
looked down.
He asked me as if he already knew the answer. Like, you know what I mean? Like, do you wear socks? Like, I don't know.
You're
Anyways,
like, yeah, of course I wear socks.
I was like, what the fuck kind of question is that? Of course I wear socks, but I'm in the middle of a move, and most of my clothes are still at my old house, and so I didn't have any socks today. So
How
I
nice
said,
would it
"You
be
know
if
what?
you could just
Fuck it."
reroute your automatic sock delivery to your new house?
Boom.
You'd have
Yeah, that's a lot of
socks all
admin work.
So did you have a sock delivery service? Because I know Brad bought a bunch of socks, right? Didn't you buy a ton off of Alibaba?
No,
or
that
something
was
like
all
that?
talking
He was,
about.
that you?
he was
Yeah,
trolling me.
Oh, you were. Okay,
I was trying
I thought
to.
you were being
No,
serious
I was.
with that. I was like,
I was
Brad
trying to
just
set
bought
up
1,000
Colin's
socks.
business. Yeah.
No, we
It
were
would've
talking
been
about
cheap.
Colin's business. Yeah, so
I thought you actually did.
No, I was trying to get him set up.
That was nice
Custom
of you.
packaging was only another $1.
The socks just weren't cool enough for me. You know what I mean?
People buy anything.
Brad and I are thinking about buying some stuff off China.
I actually,
and
I have
flipping
a
it.
business idea.
We have a buddy that buys a bunch of
From
golf
from
clubs
that
off
platform
there.
you showed me Alibaba.
He's
or
got
whatever.
It would have to be from Alibaba to make this
'Cause
business
it's-
work.
You can get anything from there.
It is not appropriate for the podcast. Though.
Yeah. So, all right, let's jump into luck.
Oh, man, I gotta know like what it is.
I'll tell you after
If we move it forward, anybody listening,
You can
send
get a
us an
free
email.
product
Yeah,
testing.
we'll send it to you or your wife, whatever.
I got a bunch of rashes.
So luck. So I love this topic, and I actually was talking to somebody yesterday after the presidential debates, and it always kind of comes down to like rich versus poor, and people see people who are rich as, oh, they got lucky. You know, that's definitely a mindset that's out there, and I don't know if everybody thinks that way, but I feel like 80% of people who don't have something that somebody else has, they say, oh, they're lucky, right?
They assume it's old money or
Yeah,
something like
yeah.
that.
So
yeah.
So that's why this is such a cool topic, because and this is just my personal opinion, while I do think that there is luck, I think that you have to create the luck, right? And so you have to put yourself in those positions in order to get the opportunities to quote unquote be lucky, right? And so if you're sitting on your ass every day and you're not doing shit, you're never going to get lucky, or if you're going down a path where, let's say it's dead end, I mean, you have to be able to calculate what situations you're getting yourself into. And similar to the law of attraction and other podcasts that we've done, as you start to go down a path and surround yourself with different people, different opportunities come up, different luck happens, I guess you could say, and that's where it opens doors and things start to happen. And so that's my whole luck theory, and maybe that's with relationships too, like, all that stuff. So
I agree with you 100%.
So that's kind of my theory on luck. Now, do you guys have anything else that you would want to add to that?
So for luck, just the pure definition is success or failure apparently brought by chance, then through one's own actions. Okay. So then I thought, okay, very first word, success. What is the definition of success? Which is the accomplishment of an aim or purpose. So to me, they kind of go hand in hand in a way of, if you want to be successful, you have to create that luck. Because you're aiming for that.
Yeah. Or put yourself in a situation where you can, be successful.
Yeah. What about you, Bobby?
I agree with all of that, man. I think that there's a lot of people that are fortunate with their situations that they've had, but none of it is going. I mean, what comes to mind actually is a lot of people who are like trust fund babies. Like people, like
those people. Hey, I will say those people are lucky, but
because they have money, but they're probably not happy.
Right? Exactly. Well, that's the thing. Is like I actually know 3 or 4 people off the top of my head who come from a lot of money, lot of money, and they have popped up fake businesses and they never did anything. They play golf all day. They do all these different things, but they don't do anything with purpose because they're not driven. And so
they don't have to, because the money's there no matter what.
The money's there, and people say, "Oh, they're on a boat, like they're lucky, whatever," But at the end of the day, and this is stupid. This is really, I'm going to say something really stupid. So I get random ideas, and if I was an artist, okay, the pieces that I would paint would be of somebody looking at somebody else who has something, who's looking at somebody else who has something else, something that person wants. So that can go around in the whole world. Like I can look outside, and I think I just saw a video on Instagram or something where a guy flies in a helicopter jet, and a guy in a Lambo is like, "Damn, that guy's lucky." You know what I mean? And then a guy in a Camry looks at the guy in the Lambo and says, "Damn, that guy's lucky." And then a guy on a bike sees the guy in the Camry and says, "Damn that," And then a guy in a wheelchair at the very end is like, "Man, I just wish I could walk around the block," or something. Mm-hmm. So it's a perspective, right? Yes. But in terms of luck, some people are born into different situations, but I mean, you can be successful in different areas of your life too, with relationships and things like that. So.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it ties in really well with the law of attraction as well. I mean, the harder that you work at this stuff, whether you're building a business or you're just trying to get into better physical shape, whatever that might be, you have to create that for yourself. You're not going to be... People want these quick fixes now where you can take a pill, or that someone looks at someone who's successful and just assumes that they've always been like that. They were blessed with a good metabolism. I feel like I have a pretty good metabolism, but I worked really hard to fucking against it for a long ass time. And then after putting in all this work on this, been able to keep dropping down, losing weight, getting more fit and stuff like that, feel better than I've ever been, sleep better than I've ever been, and I've worked for it. And that's one of the things that I actually posted whenever I completed 75 hard was I put a note on there just saying, like, people might look at me after this and think that, like, this is just the way that he is. It's like, no, I had to go through hell in order to figure out that I needed this in order to save my life.
Yeah.
And people think that that's lucky whenever it's actually hard work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you got anything?
No, I'm good.
Next thing we got, so in terms of like success versus luck.
I thought you said sex. In terms of
well,
sex.
I guess if you're having sex, are you getting lucky?
Yeah, very much.
And I do want to throw this out there. I feel like I'm the unluckiest motherfucker ever. Like if I get, let's say somebody gives me a box to open. I get the hardest fucking box to open every time, or I get, you know what I mean? Like,
don't have a sharp enough knife.
Like, no, I grab a knife. If I grab a knife out of the drawer, no, I grab the fucking dullest one. You know, that's how unlucky I am.
Grab the sharpest one, you cut yourself with it.
Just you know what I mean. So like, there's so many, and it was so funny because like when I was thinking about this topic this week, I was thinking like all these little things. Like, actually, I was unlucky to get this. I was unlucky. I was like, fuck, I'm unlucky a lot. You know what I mean? Like all these little things that don't really matter, but you know, I guess if I tried enough times, I would get the sharp knife, or you know, or I get the easy box to open, or I would get the Tua and Joe Burrow rookie cards in my box of cards after I've opened 20 boxes and spent $260 on cards. And
damn,
you know what I mean?
Worth
like,
it though.
But well, is it? You know, but I mean, like you're looking to get lucky in those situations. But and it's let's talk about the casino. If you go to the casino and you're playing a slot. If you play a slot long enough, yeah, you're gonna win a jackpot, but you're gonna lose you're gonna lose way more than you win, right? And so, but you put yourself in the position to win a jackpot, and it looks cool, but overall you probably lost. So,
exactly.
Anyways, so success versus luck, or what's different, Brad?
To me, I just think they go hand in hand with each other. I mean, I think if you want to be successful, you have to put in the work, and then that creates the luck. I mean, I had situations just in the last 2 weeks where I've been putting in a lot of work on different areas that we want to do work, and kind of out of nowhere it seems like something popped up, but it was actually just a result of something I did 2 weeks prior to that. Yeah. So it all correlates with each other, I think.
Yeah. And so I do this thing called the power list, and I'm not dropping the name, but the listeners can probably assume where that came from. And what's interesting is when I get in a slump as well, one of the things I do is, what are 5 daily tasks that I can do every single day that I know work, and if I do them every single day for a period of time, for some reason shit just starts happening. And I can't explain why it does. It's because I have focus and I have discipline, and I'm knocking out my daily shit, but then all of a sudden luck happens or success happens from it, you know. So it's really interesting that doing those brick by brick or daily efforts can create that success. So
I think a lot of it for me, like that power list, I think what like things like that do for me is declutter my mind. You know, like, so if I have a lot of, like, sometimes it's like it might be the same 5 things that are really bogging me down. It might be something easy, but I'll just push it off. A lot of times it was probably working out in the morning. I tell myself the night before, I'm going to get up, I'm going to go work out, and then I don't. And I'm thinking about it all the time, you know, the whole day, and then I get to the end of the day, you know, so I fix that by adding a workout in the morning, you know, doing something active, getting myself ready to go. But yeah, I think that's part of it. I think you really just got to declutter your mind and be open to the opportunities that present themselves throughout the day, you know.
And I'm the same way. I don't really do the power list ever, but I do try to do the one thing, which is essentially the same thing. So
yeah. So do you guys have an example? Like, if you think through your careers or what's transpired or anything like that, like, and I can tell you one right now, and this is how I met Colin, and it's all like little crazy shit in your life that happens, and you don't know why it happens, but it happens,
flaps its wings,
and it creates luck, right? And one of those is, and I think I've told this story before too, so I don't mean to sound like a broken record, but when I was in college, I was giving golf lessons, and I posted on Craigslist, and I said, hey, $30, I'll give you golf lessons, and if you're shooting over 90, I can help you. If you're shooting under 90, you're probably better off with the actual teaching pro. And I was honest about it. So I ended up with all these fucking clients, like crazy. Like, it really, like, people responded. They had to buy the balls, and I showed up, and I taught them what I knew, and that was it. And one of the people that I met was my mentor now. And so if I never went and gave golf lessons, I would have never met him. You know what I mean?
You
like,
wouldn't be sitting here right now.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, and so, you know, at the time I was broke, and he gave me a job at his deli, and that's where I met Colin, which is even crazier law of attraction shit that I'm telling this story right now, because he's wearing the deli shirt that I met him in.
Look at that.
Wow. I didn't even know that was going to come together.
Did I get
like
a
that.
shout out?
They're not in business any longer.
Oh, never mind.
Well, so he was used to like selling high quality shit, like and then he sold his business, and then he went to high quality sandwiches, and that's just a tough sell when you got Subway selling fucking subs for $4. Yeah, right. You know what I mean.
I think if they would have held on a little bit longer,
I think they would have done. He would have done fine.
Yeah,
but it just wasn't his thing. Like,
they were doing
bullshit for little
fine,
money.
Yeah,
right.
I think it was just causing a lot more shit in their life. Probably. I mean, I'm sure. I'll tell you.
So I don't know all the details there, but that was one thing for me where I put myself out there. I decided to take action. I needed some money, but I played on the golf team. What could I do? I could give some golf lessons. So I got on Craigslist. I posted a little ad to see what happens. Shit started to happen. After meeting 100 clients, I met that one guy, and now, we may do a deal together or something here soon. So
that's awesome.
It's just weird, how that works. But I put myself out there. What if I said, oh, you know what? I could give golf. Oh, that's so stupid. I'm not going to even try.
Nobody would call. Nobody would respond. Like what? No, like if that's.
They did respond.
I think that's that. What if you were thinking that? You know what I mean? It wouldn't have worked
devil's advocate.
It wouldn't have worked out, and you didn't. If you didn't.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's just a personal story for me. I don't know if you guys can think of anything.
I mean, I have a lot of situations like that where I've met people on the road, and then 10 years down the line, I get a phone call, and it happens. So, I mean, it's stuff like that. Same sort of thing. Maybe not to the extent of a mentor, but a connection that's...
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a mentor. Yeah. It could be a successful business thing. It could be it could be how you met your girlfriend or your wife or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, all of that stuff is from putting yourself in situations where you're going to network and you're going to meet people, and it's going to open doors and things are going to happen. So
I think a lot of people will listen to this and... realize that there's a lot that's happened in their life due to the actions that they've taken, and whether that's by something like law of attraction or if it's something more along the lines of, hey, I built this relationship, I continue to talk with this person, I was always friendly with them and always told them the truth, was honest, all that stuff, then it comes back to benefit them, and they don't even realize that those are the reasons that happened. So whenever it comes to success, creating your own luck, if we kind of go back to the topic we were talking about before, because it's all relevant. I mean, I'm sure people could think of tons of examples. Like I was just connected with this gal on LinkedIn who used to work at my previous job where I was in the janitorial industry, and I was just connected with her on LinkedIn, and all I've done is I share a lot of stuff on LinkedIn about what it is that I do. There's constantly stuff about Aflac, leadership, things like that, and then next thing I know, I got a message from her on LinkedIn saying, hey, I would love for you to talk, see what you can do as far as insurance goes for my entire company. And I looked at that, and I'm like, oh, they have 60,000 people.
Yeah.
So that's one that we're literally in the process of working on. It's been almost a year now that we've been working on it, just because all the puzzle pieces have to fall into place. But that would have never happened if I wouldn't have connected with her on LinkedIn there, continued to share things every single day. And people might say, oh, Bobby's lucky that he worked with that person before. But it's because of the little tiny things
it's
that
all
I've
these
put
little
in
things.
over the course of time.
It's crazy how things end up fitting together at the end. You got anything you can think of? But I mean, so we've talked a lot about good luck, right? But I think that this could apply to bad luck too, right?
Yeah,
so,
I think if you put yourself in bad situations.
Because people say, hey, I have bad luck, like I just did,
like a dark cloud.
But like you can look, there are people that sometimes I look at and they're like, man, they did have bad luck. They were in the wrong. I mean, there is such thing, I think, as bad luck. You get hit by a car or a train or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, that's bad luck.
Yeah.
Wrong place, wrong time. So I guess looking at that, kind of coupled with karma, and I don't mean to we weren't going to talk about karma today, but I do think that there's a
correlation.
Piece, you know what I mean? Sure. There's that bad luck, that karma.
I really believe
good
in
luck,
karma.
good karma. Yeah, I mean, what you send out comes back, and I try to do the right thing. That's one of my core values. Like, always do the right thing, no matter what. because even if I lose a couple of dollars on this deal, or I, have to sacrifice something here, or even if I have to do it for free, I know that's going to come back to me at some point. And it's worked out really well for me, so, from a good luck perspective. But let's say I said, no, I know you're probably never going to work with me again, so I'm going to charge you max. Instead of saying, hey, listen, I know I fucked up, we'll give you a deal on this one, knowing in the back of my mind that this particular client's never going to use me again because they had a bad experience, or because they just don't want to pay that exorbitant fees or whatever. And I could say, no, you know what, pay me the full fee, and we'll both fuck off into our own directions, right?
I also look at that though, as like, if they tell one person like, hey, you know what, he did me right on the deal, somebody might say, oh, that was a bad situation, I'm still going to give him a shot, or
right,
whatever.
But that's the thing, is like, it's worked out well even in situations where I don't have to do the right thing. I still do it because I just feel like it's come back around for me.
You're creating bad karma and possibly bad luck for yourself by doing that.
And I think that, I think anytime you try to fuck somebody, or you're trying to get one over on somebody or whatever, that's going to come back to you. And it's going to eat you alive. I mean, just the stuff, you tell somebody something and it's not accurate or whatever, like, at the end of the day, they could just eat away at you, And I think that's why, like...
I think that's some people, though. Like, I don't think it eats away at everybody.
Those people are like psychopaths.
Well, and if it doesn't, then they absolutely they're very narcissistic, sociopath type people. But then there's probably people that have it hidden under the surface, and you never know that it's something that bothers them or eats them alive, where they have anxiety and depression because of stuff like that, but they never talk about it.
Yeah,
they never unpack that shit.
And I've met people. My uncle's one of them, where he's always got this like persona going on, and it's like, I just want to smack him in the face and be like, no, dude, just fucking be real with me for like 1 minute, like, for real, like, it's crazy.
Like,
it's
cut
like
the bullshit and give us
like,
the real
you
deal.
can't play this fucking game your whole life. Like, when you wake up in the morning, you throw some water on your face and you look in the mirror. Like, I always wonder, do those people like actually believe the shit that they're saying when they go out, or do they know that they're doing what they're doing? Like, I don't know, because A, they'll never tell the truth, and B, I don't know anybody like that, because I try to cut them out of my life as quickly as possible.
And what you were talking about, karma, you've talked about this before, karma points or whatever, is that right? Where you see something on the ground, maybe that's just what I call it. Like, I've been doing that lately a lot. Like, if there's something on a place, like if somebody threw something on the ground that's trash, or they didn't put their card away at the grocery store.
The gym.
The gym.
Do you put away weights?
Yeah. So I call that karma points. Whenever I take something and I put it away. Maybe I made that up. I don't know.
I mean, I never say karma points, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
So that's what I do. It's like, I just look at somebody like, you literally like threw something on the ground there, and there's a trash can 10 feet away. So I know you said you do that a lot with stuff at the store.
Well, that's I mean,
that
like,
drives me nuts.
So like, I'll walk by, like, I'll be out. I won't touch masks, because masks are just too gross.
The modern day cigarette.
So, but if I walk by a piece of trash, or something's out of place, like you said, like, I'll be like, God, I don't want to fucking do this, but I like, in my soul, I have to like stop what I'm doing, go pick up the trash, or put the cart back, or
you feel
all
like
those
if you
little
notice
things.
it and walk past, you're just as big of a dick as the guy who dropped it.
I feel like more of a dick, because I noticed it.
Because you noticed
it. Yeah, because
you thought about picking it up.
So this is actually
no.
something that is really relevant, and Brad, I know that this isn't your favorite book, but at least maybe not right now. I'm going to try and convince you to read it. But The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. He talks a lot about entitlement in that, and how people think they don't have to do something just because there's not necessarily any sort of repercussions or anything like that, where they can leave that grocery cart off at the side of the store, or they litter, they throw some. Like, I have seen people throw full bags of like McDonald's out their window just in the middle of a stoplight, and it's just like, what the fuck are you doing? You can throw that away at home.
Right.
And it's a sense of entitlement that a lot of people don't realize that they have, but it happens on both sides of the spectrum. There's people that do that directly, that are they're aware of
they consciously
doing that,
do
but
it.
they don't worry about it because there's no direct
repercussion
on that stuff. And then on the other side, you have people that so kind of just to make a little bit more sense of this, they talked about it a lot in the sense of people who play the victim mentality, where things happen to them because, like this happened due to this external circumstance, something like that. Like
right.
They think they have bad luck. And then there's also the people that maybe don't have that bad luck, but they feed into that bullshit, where what they do is they say, oh, well, it's okay that you didn't do that. And I know, even though you said you didn't want to talk about Andy Frisella, but he talked once in a podcast about this girl who said that she was quitting 75 hard because it was her 7th time through it. She couldn't do it. And there were all these people saying in there, oh, that challenge is too hard, sweetie, blah, blah, blah. That's entitlement as well, and people don't realize that. They're bringing people, that crabs in the bucket theory, they're bringing people back down to their level because they know that they can't do that shit.
Yeah.
And they don't want other people to
But
look
the problem
better
is, and this is going to be off topic, but I try to be the person that calls people out on that shit. Like, no, you are fucking capable. Like, and maybe sometimes I'm too hard on, like, and I really have to watch myself with my kids because of their age and, like, you know, holding.
How old are your kids?
9, 6, 4, and 1. So, but it's like, you know, oh, I can't do that. Like, yeah, you can fucking do this. I know you can do this because you've done it before. Yeah. And so now you're just making excuses. You know what I mean? And so, but that's with everybody, with friends, if they're fucking up at work or whatever. Like, and I want people to do that to me. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm cool with that. But most people. And I'm not trying to be like an advice giver or anything like that. I just like to call it how I see it. And, you know, and I got a buddy, and there's no way he listens to this, but, you know, he ran into a gambling thing, you know, and he's like, dude, can you, like, you think I could get like $20 on Venmo or something? Because he was doing sports gambling. And I said, okay, you know, whatever, I'll feed the cause, but here's $20, you know, because it's hard to say no the first time, right? So then we were out on a date, and I see him at the casino because he's gambling, and he's got all these chips in front of him. He's like, oh, hey, what's up? And I'm sitting there like,
where's
fucking
my $20?
I'm not going to say anything, you know what I mean? I'm going to see if he offers it. Well, he doesn't offer it, right? So we go on, whatever. I don't care. He needs the 20 more than I do. And then a couple months later, hey man, is there any way I could get like $50? Yeah. And so I said, hey, I saw you at the casino. You had a bunch of money in front of you. I lent you $20. You didn't give me the $20 back. Now you're asking me for $50. And I said, I can't do it this time. And it's not because you didn't pay me back. It's because you have a problem, man. Yeah. I was just like, I'm saying this as a friend. I'm saying it because I care. But dude, if you're asking your friends for $50 on fucking Venmo so you can bet on tonight's basketball game or something like that,
you have a problem,
right? And so I'm like, dude, you know, like, don't ruin your marriage or your relationship or your friendship or anything like that. And he actually was like, hey, you're right, you know, I shouldn't do this. I'm sorry, you know. And then ended up playing golf with him. And
okay,
yeah, and he said that day, he's like, man, I haven't gambled since. Thank you. And
there you go.
That's super cool, man.
Yeah, that's
I have
awesome.
chills
because you know him.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So, anyway, so one of those things where it was like, you know, that was somebody that was receptive. But I've talked to other people where they're like, hey, you know, the feedback, you know, I really wasn't looking for a fucking lecture. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm not trying to lecture you. I'm just telling you how I see it. And if you can choose to fix it
Those
or not
people
fix
only
it.
see it as a lecture because they know it's actually a problem. They don't want to
deal
addressed.
with it. Right.
So you doing that for them is so a lot of people see that as like, oh, like that guy's like, he's really mean or she's really mean. No, it's the fact that you are not buying into that sense of entitlement for them, and you are 100% trying to help them get out of them building those habits that are creating that bad luck and building that bad karma for them. So if you can absolutely trace that back to that bad luck, where if you make a stand and you decide to like step up, and I don't know if step up's the right word, but like stand up to your friends or your family members and challenge them on some things, then they're going to be better for that, and they're never going to forget that, and your buddy will never forget that. And this may be the turning point in his life, and I know I needed something like that as far as my drinking and stuff like that goes.
I think people get pissed at you at first, but then 10 years down the road when they run into you, they're like, damn, dude, you were the only fucking person that like
Shine
actually,
straight.
yeah, you know what I mean? Because everybody around me, I was, like that chick that you were talking about. Everybody around me was either supportive of my decision to not do something, or they were in that circle of drug use or alcoholism or whatever, and they were all doing the same things. Nobody said, "Hey, fuck this! I'm getting you out of this situation." And so I don't know how we got off track like that.
No, I mean, it's not really too far off track if you think about it. It still all relates to that bad luck, people building bad karma for them. Because if we're going to talk about creating good luck, then you should talk about how it works the other way as well. It's the same thing with the law of attraction. You don't put out good vibes, you're not going to get good vibes back, just like Colin you said earlier.
Yeah.
So I think it's all relevant, man. I dig it.
Well, cool.
It's a good story, Dan.
You like that?
I like that story a lot.
Yeah. Anything else?
Colin, did you have something earlier you said you wanted to talk about being down?
Yeah. We got a couple extra minutes today, so.
Yeah, so through this, and I don't know, you guys have any negative self-talk, especially through like 75 Hard. Like, have you guys found like yourself getting into like a little bit of a valley where you have to kind of like pull yourself out and gut out the workout, or gut out reading 10 pages, or gut out doing your diet? I just this last week or so, I feel like I've been dealing with that, and found myself getting back into a groove, and I feel a little bit better like in this groove, because I was able to curb that negative talk and actually be positive. What
was the negative talk like?
Are you actually the type of person who's going to get up at this time of day and do your workout? Are you actually going to are you actually going to not eat breakfast? And are you actually going to, are you actually going to do this stuff? That's what I've been asking myself. Are you the type of person who's going to get into the office early? Are you the type of person who's going to make this many phone calls? And it's really been helping me, because it forces you to kind of take a look in the mirror and be like...
Yeah, and instead of asking the question, why don't you just say, I am?
I guess you could do that. This has been working for me.
Yeah, I'm just brainstorming. I'm just brainstorming. Yeah.
I'm good.
Tony Robbins brainstorming.
No, but that's kind of been my favorite part. Whether I'm in the challenge, whether I'm outside of the challenge, I've just been continuing to do the things that I was doing throughout the challenge, and this is my favorite part. I feel like I have a little bit more control over my emotions, and my workouts are getting to a level where, and tell me if you guys that they're intense, and it's kind of reminding me like who the fuck I am, you're a
badass.
Yeah, you're a bad motherfucker,
Are you?
And
we're gonna find out on the volleyball court on Saturday.
Sure.
I'm so excited.
No, it's gonna get physical.
You want to be on my team?
No, I can't.
Do you want to be on my team? Will you play with me?
But yeah, I just wanted to talk to you guys. And how do you guys handle that? Because sometimes I feel like maybe I have a little bit more self-talk or negative self-talk than others, but that's like a big hurdle that I always have to get through. Just wondering how you guys deal with it.
I mean, I definitely have negative self-talk, and I try to snap out of it, I mean, there's...
Like, I can feel myself, like, falling into old habits for, like, no reason, just because it's like, oh, well, fuck it. Like, I've done so good for this long.
So some of my biggest problems I've had during 75 Hard is, like, Saturday, I did that mountain bike race. Well, that was 3.5 hours. I had to drive an hour there, an hour back. So you're looking at 6 hours probably all in, and I still had to do another workout.
Yeah.
So I mean, that, like, I could have easily said, oh, I did 2 workouts.
Yep.
I probably did like 10 in one workout.
Yeah.
And you probably would have slept fine too.
Yeah, but I still at 8 o'clock that night went for a walk.
Yeah,
because I have to.
Yeah,
those have been the days where I've struggled the most, just because it's like I've done way more work than I already did, but that's just not how it works.
I did the same thing on Saturday and Sunday after I did those 30 miles. I was like, we were in the car coming home from my nephew's birthday, and I looked at Paige, and I was like, I still got to do another workout. And like my legs, and I don't know if you've ever like just without training just done something strenuous like that, and like your legs, once you sit down, your legs don't work.
Yeah.
Like my hip flexors were locked up. And I did the same thing. I took the dogs for a long walk, and then I did some pull-ups, and then I stretched. So.
And I've also been the same way as you. Is I'm definitely, my intensity of my workouts are a lot bigger.
Yeah.
It hasn't just been 2 walks a day or anything like that. It's been going to the gym every morning and at least 10 to 12 miles on my bike every day almost.
I find myself like really making sure like there's some intent behind every movement that I do. Like there's a reason why I'm doing it. I'm trying to strengthen my lower back, or maybe it is my hip flexor. Maybe it's something that I might maybe do 2 sets of instead of 3, but like I'm focusing on the little stuff, which is, I was telling Matt today, like just the stretching of my hips have like changed my workouts for the better. And it's so stupid. I feel like I've played sports all my life, and I don't feel like anybody ever taught me how to stretch that. You know what I mean? It's like, it's so weird. But that's what I've been doing every morning and trying to do it before I, at night too. But yeah, I don't.
So what day would you have been on?
I don't. What day would we have been on?
I'm on 61 today.
Well, I would have been on 61, right?
2 weeks from today.
Yeah, 2 weeks from tomorrow. So maybe today's 60, I think. Oh, I don't know. Tomorrow I know is 2 weeks exactly.
I keep not getting an answer, or maybe I just miss it in the text. But so golf does not count. It's out. It's off the table.
Golf has to be out.
Yeah.
Man.
Fuck, man. I've been saying this whole time, and pardon my French to the audience, but I've been saying this whole time.
I mean, Bobby used golf for a workout once.
Well, that's the thing, is I was walking. And that's 100% different.
Walk it or ride it, it's still leisure activity.
100%
so that's the rule.
That.
Any leisure activity doesn't count.
I mean,
you know how I feel on this. I called this before Frisella ever came out. When I was sitting here all down on myself.
And what's funny is we all agreed that golf was a workout
at that time, until
and
the guy who
said something.
Until we aren't the creators of the workout,
right? So, but that's the thing is, like I sat
but we
here.
are the creators of the bet.
And the whole reason behind my mindset was, Brad kind of hit it with leisure activity is a good way to put it. But if it's something that it should be an inconvenience to do the 2 workouts. It shouldn't just be part of the routine that you're used to or anything like that. And so that's
what
where
about walking your dogs?
That's
who wants to get up at 6 a.m. to walk their dogs?
Well, it depends. Did you walk your dogs before or not?
No,
you know what I mean?
Like, you can't do that. Like I've always walked my dogs. I've just been doing it like a lot
I think
longer.
the biggest difference is
for me,
if
it's
you
just
told
a routine
somebody,
thing.
if you told somebody, hey,
day.
I'm going to work out, and they're like, oh, what are you doing? And you said golf, I think they'd look at you like,
oh, okay, yeah, okay.
So think about that. Like that's like saying,
I'm going. So what if you said you're going to walk your dogs?
I think a lot of people go on walks as a workout.
For me, it's like, does it elevate my heart rate? Do I burn calories?
I'm very extreme with what the standards are that I would put forth for myself for 75 hard. Which is why I didn't.
You lasted 4 days.
It was 10.
And another way I look at it too is like, if you like, to me that's like saying I'm going shopping and I'm going to walk around the mall for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm just.
So are you saying that counts?
Yeah.
No, I'm saying it doesn't.
To that point though, like there are people who will go walk around the mall though. Like
yeah, but I'm talking about like people who are going shopping.
Yeah.
Like if you're mall walking, I understand that because you're walking the entire time.
You're walking nonstop.
Yeah. You're not stopping.
You're getting your heart rate
buying
up.
something.
Typically, they walk fast as fuck.
Them
and
New
probably
Balances
wear ankle weights.
Dude,
yeah.
even I would if my vote counted, I would say that counted.
So I mean, look,
if you were burning calories and your heart rate was up, I feel like why the fuck not? You know, what I mean, you still have to add another workout to the day.
Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, we all did agree that day that golf was. Then Andy Frisella came out and said that it wasn't.
Did you make that fucking golf putter for him?
No, but
that's gonna be the best. Whenever you said that,
we have
to
connections that we can get in touch with them pretty easy right now.
So, anyways, the bottom line is, you know, for me, the standard that I think Andy, and I'm saying this as what I think Andy Frisella would say if he was fucking sitting right here, is I think you have to be working out with heavy intent in each workout. I think you have to be focused on the workout that you're doing. And so I don't know if walking dogs is. I don't know if
he might say no to that.
You know what I mean? I don't know.
He hates cardio, and whenever he does his outside workouts, it was usually like opening up the garage where he had all of his workout equipment in and getting his outdoor workout in there, because we know he hates cardio. And it's going to be different for every single person that does 75 hard. I get where he's coming from on that, and like where there could be an argument for it. But I do agree with Colin where your heart rates you get your heart rate up.
Yeah, I guess so. When you see pictures of all the people that have done 75 hard that he shares, right? Like some he shares and they went from fat to fucking ripped, and some he shares that went to chubby to skinny or whatever, right? And there's no right or wrong. I'm not trying to like call the people that have completed it out because it's a hell of a challenge, right? But at the end of the day, the people like Ben Newman, if you look at his before and after, or you look at like he has another guy that he talks to a lot, I forget his name, his before and after, you can tell those guys they maxed out in every single workout every single day for 75 days straight, because they go from, dad bod to fucking chiseled, and like that's only a result of maxing out on every fucking workout. You know what I mean? And so that's high intensity, or that's lifting heavy weights or whatever. And I'm not saying that everybody should do that or could do that. I'm just saying like that's just the difference I see in some of those posts, like who went super fucking hard on the workouts. And by the way, it's at the end of the day, it's not really a workout challenge. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like I think a lot of it gets mixed up in the workout stuff, because the people who lift weights who want to do 75 hard, it's probably easy for them to do that, but can they fucking read? Yeah, they're fucking taking steroids or some shit. I don't know.
I think it's gonna be. I mean, it is.
I should have
for
definitely
everyone.
juiced before this,
Right?
I feel like it.
Well, it'll be different for everyone as far as the results. I know for me, like I went to go do my body comp scan today. I started off I was 255 pounds. Whenever I went to go start day one, I was 234 pounds and 26.6% body fat. I went today, I'm at 15.2%, almost under 15. I was so close. I was so pissed that I wasn't under 15.
Next week.
But 15.2% body fat, and
what was your starting body fat?
It was 26.6 whenever I was already 21 pounds down. So I'm guessing I was close to 30% body fat.
I think, what was I, like 36?
33?
Something like that.
Yeah.
And now my goal is, so I just had my analysis of like, what do I want to accomplish 6 months from today and 12 months from today. And 6 months from today, I want to be under 10. 12 months from today, I want to be under 7 is what I had on there. And I know, like, since obviously completing 75 hard, I've continued to do the same thing every single day. Now the app, it goes straight to phase 1, so it's like asking me if I completed all that other stuff, and I'm like, I don't know how to get back to the regular 75 hard, so I just check the box on completing those things every single day, still doing the progress photo. But for me, like, 75 hard was such a big accomplishment because it saved my fucking life. I stopped drinking, right? And I was listening to Sobercast, that podcast on Spotify, through those first 3 weeks. But I was like, I have no motivation here to just continue to listen to podcasts about being sober.
Yeah.
And then I found Andy Frisella, or refound him kind of, and was like, oh, I can actually now complete this challenge now that I'm not drinking. That was going to be the hardest part for me. And now, like, that has obviously become a lifestyle. Brad asked me a couple times, hey, man, are you completely done drinking? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, dude, that's fucking awesome. I've never done that either. And that's what makes this group really cool to me, is like, I know I got someone in here that, like, I can be like, yeah, dude, like, we're not going to drink together.
Yep.
Like, that's super cool. And I'll still follow a diet plan. There's no doubt about that. Now, I miss fucking pizza. I cannot wait to, hey, whenever you're done with your stuff, we need to fucking smash a pizza in here for sure. And then,
we've been talking about it.
We don't need, like,
now that I'm out of the challenge, you want to get some pizza?
Yeah, what do you guys do after this?
Matt would be down, I'm sure.
But man, we've built the habits. The one thing, obviously, they talk in there, it takes 66 days to build a habit. We're past that, and it'll just be something that will forever change my life. And if I ever feel like I'm off track, I know that I can veer right on the right one because of that. And for that, I do thank Andy Frisella tremendously.
Are there things, and this is a question for both of you, are there things that, like, you just will never take out of your regimen ever again?
I love the reading. That's one thing that's huge for me.
I think that's hard to answer.
Yeah, to me that's super hard. Me and my wife have talked about this, like, after this is over, because she's doing it with me as well. I think I'll still continue to work out. It probably won't be twice a day, just because it's a time commitment that I don't, honestly, I'm sure Dan understands this too. Like, running my own business, like, there's days that I just need to commit other places.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
I mean, to do 2 workouts, I mean, that ends up being almost 2 hours.
I mean, like, say one of your workouts is you have to get up at 5 a.m. to do it or whatever. Are you going to continue to do that? Is there something that you've had to add to your 75 hard regimen that you'll continue to?
I think I'll work out at least once a day from here on out.
Yeah.
Every morning for me, man. I'm up and ready to go for that first workout.
Yeah. It's awesome to hear you guys talk about the morning because it's like once you get on a good routine, you start to think like, why the fuck have I not been doing this all my life? And
Right.
how does anybody just get up and go to work? I don't understand.
Without stretching out. Like, I know if I don't get on my foam roller and stretch out, like, dude, I feel taller.
Yeah.
I literally feel stronger.
Maybe
I feel like I
Yeah.
walk better. I walk better. I
For your
don't know.
forearms?
It's all better. My body just
taller.
feels better.
Yeah, dude, I'm with you on that completely. I think it changes my attitude going into the day. If I'm not feeling great, if I get that first workout in, I feel so much better and I'm ready to tackle
Absolutely.
whatever that day has to throw towards me, whether it's shitty clients or the best day ever.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think that's a wrap. I do have a quote to
Wait,
Yeah.
time
end the
out.
day on. Oh,
so,
you got something.
So, are we settling this debate about golf or what?
It's not a workout.
Yeah. Andy Frisella settled
But
it. Like,
if you
But
start,
I think
3
that for
weeks
the
ago.
sake of the challenge, I think that it was agreed
Right.
that would count.
we
Did it
did
not?
agree as a group
For
and
the
Andy
sake
Frisella
of it.
came
Yeah.
out. So
I'm just saying.
we're just gonna have to call it for your grandfather then. How about that?
You were grandfathered in.
I will
Have you
say,
missed on anything else?
or maybe I can just do day one and I'll just do like 75 medium.
I will
You
say,
want to do the medium with me?
the three of us did play golf, and that day I still got on my Peloton at home and worked out because I didn't agree with it.
Hey,
Well,
I got
look,
home that
to
day
each
and I
their
worked
own.
out too. We texted about it.
To each their own.
Yes.
I did not.
I did not.
Dan was already
were
out.
already
He was
out by that
slamming hot
point,
dogs.
weren't
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
I
showed
went
up
to
with hot
Dairy
dogs.
I'm
Queen.
still out because I haven't been taking my pictures, but
You haven't taken your
so it
progress
doesn't even
pictures?
matter.
I didn't
then.
know if I was in or out. And I hate
Oh
taking.
no!
I
All you
hate,
had to do is take a picture.
I hate taking those damn pictures, dude.
Well,
I
just
tell you what,
tell
though,
your
that's
girlfriend to take a
probably the
picture when you get
hardest
out of
thing
the
for me to
shower.
remember every night.
I took
Do you have the app?
I do, but it's still
took a
just super hard for me
and
to
sent it
remember.
her, and she's like, "What? What?" And I
That was
like,
the
"I gotta
only
take it
reason why I
anyway."
remember sometimes.
My wife does hers in the morning, which
She's
is probably
got
the
it on her
smarter choice.
Apple Watch
Yep.
at work.
I've
She's
started
like,
doing it in the morning so I don't forget at night.
I was all flexed out and
shit.
everything too.
All right,
So
what's the
the
quote?
quote that I have
Wrap
is-
this shit up.
Is Thomas Jefferson. I find the harder I work, the more luck I seem to have.
I like that.
I love it.
Bang.
I think that is a perfect ending to our podcast today. So, thank you so much, everybody. Yeah, no, don't fucking do it. Come on. Don't. Oh my god. Anyways,
I had to do it.
thanks so much, everybody, for listening. Again, if you could give us a review, hit the like button, whatever the fuck you got to do. You know what to do.
Smash that like button. Pay your
Subscribe,
dues.
whatever it is,
Or
and
if you have
check us
something-
out on
If you have something you
Instagram.
want to hear about, leave it in the comments.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to throw us a message, we appreciate that too. So, thanks so much, and we'll see you guys next time.
Peace.
See ya.
Later.